Good morning, this is Dr. James Dougal, board certified emergency physician at Stat Medical Care in Johns Creek, and this is another addition to our fight in the war of the coronavirus. I've had questions on where our location is. This is our building here at Stat Medical Care. We're ready for our triage area is in front, and as we go to the surge, which they believe in Georgia is coming in the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a very difficult time. Our staff is exhausted. I'm also the medical director of Gwinnett Technical College in Gwinnett, which is the largest paramedic program in the state. And today we have two guests. And we're going to talk about EMS because yesterday was Doctor's Day, Nurses Day is coming, but EMS is important, and these are the heroes on the front line. And we have two heroes here today. First is Georgiana White, who's the clinical director at Gwinnett Tech, and we've been together many years and running the program for at least 10 to 15 years. And we also have on our left here is Nicole Rohr, and she is a paramedic student about to graduate if they let her because of the shutdowns in the college. She is still working the front, and we're going to talk to both of them. But first we're going to talk to Georgiana. Georgiana, can you give me an idea of what you do at Gwinnett Tech and what Gwinnett Tech is all about?
Well, I schedule and grade all the clinical aspects for our EMS students. That's EMT, advanced EMT, and paramedic. I mean, anything clinical. I go over their documentation, their patient assessment skills, their clinical hours, what they're required to graduate to make them competent EMTs and paramedics going into the field clinically.
Well, this is important, Georgiana. What have we done? What have we done with Greg? You can talk a little about Greg also, who's one of the directors there. But what have we done for the safety of the students and the school? What has the school done? Has it shut down? Are we still having classes? Can you give us a little insight in that?
So the school is officially shut down as far as on-campus learning. We have moved all the way to strictly online. All students will attend their classes via Zoom or some kind of online meeting app. Clinically wise, we still have our paramedic students going to clinicals at this time. That was given to us by the school. They said the paramedics can finish their program. We've provided them with N95s and have had all of our students fit tested. That's really important because they need a proper seal for an N95 mask in order for it to be effective and preventing them from contracting any viruses, not just the coronavirus that can be spread via droplets.
Great. We're going to come back to Georgiana in a moment. We have Nicole Rohr here. Nicole is one of actually our absolute best students. Nicole also works on the front line at EMS, and Nicole also works for us here on the front line at Stat Medical Care in Johns Creek, Georgia. Nicole, can you give me an idea of what it's like to be an EMS paramedic out in the field right now, working the ambulance and going to the hospitals, making pickups at nursing homes? Can you give us an idea of how the work you do and how they're feeling, how they feel? Is there fear? What can you build on that?
From what I've seen, everyone's been kind of skeptical about going to hospitals because of the virus, even if they are sick. We have to kind of convince them that, yes, you do need to go to the hospital and there is a risk, but we still ensure them that they're taking the precautions at the hospital to prevent it from spreading from person A to person B. Everyone is really stressed, including EMS personnel, because a lot of us have family that we don't want to take the virus home to, so we're taking the precautions, wearing PPE, N95 masks, gowns, foot protection for our shoes, so we don't take it home to our families and the at-risk family that we have of grandparents, children, so everyone's taking their precautions.
Nicole, have you heard of or have you transported any of the coronavirus actual diagnosed positive patients?
I have not had they're 100% positive patient, but I have transported a few that could have been a possible. I haven't heard anything from a hospital whether they were positive or tested for it at all. So,
how about protective gear? You mentioned the word PPE,
yes,
which means personal protection equipment. do the ambulance services, does it appear that they have enough right now? And are they looking toward the surge, which is coming in Georgia in the next 2 weeks? What have you heard or seen? And we're also going to ask Georgiana the same question. Go ahead, Nicole.
So working on the ambulance, they are providing us each with one set of PPE gear. We have a gown, we have an N95 mask, we each have our own eye protection. As far as having enough, I'm not sure what the stock looks like, but it looks like they're providing enough for the day in the possible cases that we get.
Good. We'll come back. Thank you, Nicole. Georgiana, you're also in the front line of the EMS. Not only is she the clinical director and has tremendous responsibility over the safety of all our paramedics and EMS students, which are basic and advanced. When you're out in the field, and what have you seen as being on the truck, on the first line, in the line of the coronavirus?
I've seen fear. People are scared, but I've also seen people's inability to listen to the recommendations of the CDC, the WHO. There are too many people that are out right now. To give you a little perspective, in Georgia right now we have about 150,000 people who are positive and infected with the coronavirus. In the state of Georgia, according to the Labor and Statistics Board, there are 252,000 working EMS providers in the United States. We can provide possibly only 1.5 person per sick person right now in the state of Georgia for EMS providers to help them. We get exposed, that takes those numbers and dwindles them down because we're required for a 14-day quarantine to make sure we don't get sick. If you do not need to be out, do not be out.
All right, that's great. Well, I want to give you a little perspective finally here about STEP Medical Care. Not only are we in protective gear, we have separated the clinic, as you know, seeing previous videos, we've separated into a sick side and to a well side. So when you come in, if you have a fracture or we need to do any surgeries, which we've been doing every day, you don't come in contact at all with any ill people or respiratory people. They're on the other side and we see them individually. We keep people who are very sick in their car and then we escort them in. So this is as safe as any place can be. We've been open every day for the last 3 months, fighting this. We started before we saw the problem here, the coronavirus respiratory, prior to the announcement throughout the United States. So the heroes have been our staff, and we're going to stay open every day, and even if it's a short hours on the weekend. All right, I want to thank you, Georgiana from Gwinnett Tech, and I want to thank you also, Nicole Rahr from STEM Medical and Gwinnett Tech, and good luck. I know it's tough. Everything's closed up, Nicole, on school. And one last word about school. How hard has it been being closed up on you?
We're just dealing with it day by day. They're still allowing us to do clinicals, so the graduation is still coming, but just day by day at this point.
That's great. Really that's fantastic. Okay. All right, we're going to sign off here, but I want to thank everybody for the donations. A special shout out goes up to Oak Park, Illinois, to John Passanotti, who is a friend of ours, is a friend of the clinic. John, thank you very much for your generous donation, and we'll be calling you soon. We just have been overwhelmed. And thank you, everybody, for all the donations and all the product you've brought over and the money you've sent in. Please keep it going because we really need it. And thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow for our next installment of here at STEP Medical Care, what we're doing to fight coronavirus.